Let's talk to Chris in South Carolina. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, how are you, buddy?
I'm not too good, actually, seeing what's happening.
I hear you. First of all, let me say I'm a true patriot. Believe in the Constitution. I think we need to get back to sound money. The Bill of Rights, we've gotten way far away from that. And I've been listening to your talk show for a while now. I've watched several of your videos, and I check your website for articles almost on a daily basis. All right? Your website is beautiful. You've got streaming video on there. It's just gorgeous, and you really spent a lot of money on that.
Well, I'm going to hold you over. What is your main point? I appreciate the compliments.
Well, my main point, I need about 2 minutes to speak. I know you like to interrupt people, but I really want to have something important to tell people. I was watching one of your videos, which featured you talking into the camera, and you were preaching about rising up and taking back the country and everything.
All right, we got a break. Okay, I know the ads have got to interrupt you, but that's just the way talk radio is. I actually have callers on longer than the average person does. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead and go back to Chris in South Carolina.
Hey, Alex?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, I can't go through. Hold on, I can't go through 2 hours of prefaces or how I interrupt. You got 60 seconds. Go ahead.
When I was watching your speech against the tyranny of the elite, I didn't get. There was a gut feeling in me that something wasn't right, and let me explain that. Because last week on CNN, they had a segment that featured the D.C. Madam scandal, and they said, everybody on the blogs is talking about it and how, it wasn't a suicide and everything. Well, they featured your website on CNN, and I was thinking, that's basically an advertisement for Prison Planet. We know how the mainstream media works. If they don't want to call attention to the source, they just ignore it. And those things do not sit right with me, and I had to ask myself a question when you were talking to G. Edward Griffin, who is one of my heroes, by the way. Just like I did, I want people to ask themselves the question, do you feel empowered or do you feel disempowered after listening to Alex Jones? Do you feel as if the movement is making a difference, or do you feel panicked, anxious, and cut off from thinking that anything can be done? And I think most people will come to the same conclusion I did. See, Alex, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold. No. Oh, I'll just let you go. How's that sound? I gave you about a minute and a half earlier. I just gave you about 2 minutes there, and that's not enough for you. Okay, now let me address just the false claim after false claim after false claim after false claim after innuendo and canards that you just threw out there. Okay? You sound like the agent calling into the show. You say you like G. Edward Griffin, but that I have him on, but that basically he's empowering people, but I'm not. I mean, that's basically what you're getting at. I bring G. Edward Griffin on, and he gets more members to his Freedom Force International than he gets in the previous year in one appearance on my show. Government agents don't have good people like G. Edward Griffin empowering people and exposing the private Federal Reserve on, and then say, here, raise lots of money for your group and get a bunch of people to join. Or bring Ron Paul on, who said that he got more support from my show than anyone else. And then empower a movement that's got the Trilateral Commission scared. This show is not about Alex Jones, number one. It's not about getting so obsessed with me that we sit here, wondering about Alex Jones. The media has to respond to me at times. The media has to cover me sometimes. Not very much. I probably get on national television about 3 times a year. And generally, it's when they want a clip of some big guy I've gone on, like Willie Nelson saying 9/11's an inside job, or Governor Ventura, and they will take a clip of that, and they've got to say where it came from. CNN or Fox will call up and say, we want that clip. What do you want? How much money do you want? And I say, I don't want any money. Just say AlexJonesInfowars.com. And they say, thank you. We're going to fax something over. We need you to sign it. Boom, I sign it. Now, CNN called me, and the producers wanted to have me on a bunch of their shows, and they always called back and said, yeah, the higher-ups don't want you on. I actually had A.J. Hammer, who, by the way, knows us an inside, well, I don't want to say that. Behind the scenes, I've talked to him. There are some good people at CNN and Fox and everywhere else. They're not all agents. It's the higher-ups. And they're fans of the show. They have me on a few times. It gets record ratings. And then I talk to their producers, and they go, yeah, we want you on, but the higher-ups, the execs above programming called and said, do not put him on anymore. And I've had TV execs call me and go, your Q scores are incredible on television. People just cannot stop looking at you. And I'm not saying I'm good looking. That's not what it is. It's kind of like Rodney Dangerfield. You can't stop looking at him. And he's an old fat guy. It's that people can't stop looking at me. I mean, it just TV execs have told me, and they've actually had my Q scores done at some companies without me even knowing, and later told me about it. Very high. Very high. For some reason, my mannerisms, the way I look, the way I talk, and so they're like, man, we love having you on. Our ratings go out the roof. But then they get calls and say, don't have him on. So if you really want to get into all this, I can explain it to you. Yes, CNN attacked me and said that she didn't commit suicide and that I was basically wrong, was the whole part of the piece, and showed prisonplanet.com. And then played a clip, unless you're talking about another CNN I didn't know about, of my show. They call one day and ask to use it. They call the next and say, oh, we're not going to have you on, Nancy Grace and this other show and this show and that show. But can we still use the clip? And I said, yeah, I told you. Leave me alone. Use the clip. And so, see, I've just burned about 5 minutes explaining this. Let me tell you something. Patriots tell you you are empowered. You have an effect. They work with others. But I am trying to scare you. I'm scared. I mean, I'm concerned. I am saying, I mean, is a buoy, when I'm out on Lake Travis with friends fishing, and I see a hazard buoy, do I go, how dare them try to scaremonger? No, there's a big submerged rock. You know, there's a cliff face sticking out. It's 2 feet under the water that'll rip the bottom of your boat off. So they got a buoy saying hazard. And so I come on and go, this is serious. You know, that's why I've woken up more people than anybody else in this movement. Everybody says it. Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, Jack McClan, they all say it. So judge a tree by its fruits. Am I effective? Yes. Do I break major stories and work my butt off? Yes. Am I trying to build a more effective organization? Yes. Am I perfect? No. But I mean, I wake up all these people, and I tell you you're empowered, and I empower all these other groups, and then you go, I got a bad feeling when CNN was reporting on you. Well, yeah, they called up and said, you want money? They always want to give you money, $500, $1,000, and then they always got to check back if they'll put your website up. I want my website covered. You're going to play my clip. So that's what that was, goofball. Oh my gosh, I'm in league with him. If I was in league with him, it'd be Alex Jones, the phenomenon. Waking America up. He's a great guy. He's got millions of listeners. Instead, it's Nightline calling up, wanting to do a huge hit piece on me, like they basically did on Scientologist, which I don't like and I'm not affiliated with. The point is it was the same MO, same producers. I had the guy that did the hit piece on Michael Jackson, did a hit piece for History Channel, spent millions attacking me. I mean, folks, let me give you a little cue. When CNN's saying Prison Planet's wrong, and when the guy that did the major piece on Michael Jackson sicked on me, and Nightline's begging to interview me for 6 months straight, and producing some huge hit piece, oh yes, I'm bad. My God, is it going to take them blowing my head off in the street or planting drugs on me, or IRSing my butt out of existence for you to think look? Stop sucking your thumb about Alex Jones and whether I'm good or not. You're good. Supposedly, you go out and do a radio show. You take action. What a diversion. What a distraction. What a waste of time. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll get into a bunch of news, then your calls. I got to cover news now. Stay with us. It's huge. PrisonPlanet.com.
Everybody